In this video I will show you how to replace the in-tank fuel pump on 2009 to 2014 Ford F-150 pickup trucks. Step number 1. Park the truck on a level surface, place blocks in front of and behind the front wheels for safety. 2. Raise the rear of the truck using a hydraulic floor jack and place jack stands under the axle for safety. 3. Disconnect the line shown on the screen from the side where the charcoal canister is located, apply inward pressure on the edges of the connector lock and simultaneously push the lock outward to release it. 4. Once the lock is released, use your hands to pull the line at the junction point in opposite directions to disconnect it. 5. Release the lock on the fuel line connector using a small flathead screwdriver, insert the screwdriver into the slot and push outward to release it. 6. Push the connector lock inward with your hands until it is completely released. Once free, pull the line in opposite directions at the junction point until it is completely released. Note, for your safety, wear safety glasses and avoid standing below the fuel line you are disconnecting, as it may still have fuel pressure. Likewise, avoid any heat source that could accidentally cause a fire or spark. 7. Loosen the fuel filler hose clamp using a ratchet and a 7mm socket. Once loose, slide the clamp back by hand. 8. Disconnect the hose from the filler neck by pulling it back by hand. If necessary, carefully insert a flathead screwdriver through the edge of the hose and the point where it joins the tube, taking care not to damage the hose. Pry around it to make it easier to release. 9. Place a piece of wood on the floor jack, covering a considerable area, and position both below the fuel tank to support it. Raise the jack to the point of contact with the fuel tank and apply slight pressure against it. Make sure that the jack and wooden piece don't interfere with the metal straps that fasten the fuel tank to the frame. 10. Once the fuel tank is properly supported, remove the bolt that fastens the metal strap using a long extension, a ratchet or impact tool and a 13mm socket. Once the bolt is removed, lift and turn the belt slightly by hand until it is completely released and remove it completely. 11. Repeat the same procedure for the other belt. 12. Once the metal straps have been removed, lower the gas tank slowly with the jack and stop it at approximately half height to access and disconnect the remaining electrical connections and hoses from the fuel pump module. 13. Visually locate the fuel tank filler relief hose at the end that connects to the tank and disconnect the hose as shown below. 14. With your hand, push inward on the connector's retaining lock and pull back simultaneously to completely disconnect the line as shown on the screen. 15. Now, unlock the pump's electrical connector lock and slide the lock outward by hand or with a small flathead screwdriver, as shown on the screen. 16. Once the lock is released, push down on the connector's locking tab and pull outward simultaneously to completely disconnect it. 17. Disconnect the electrical plug from the pressure sensor by pushing down on the connector lock and pulling outward simultaneously to completely disconnect it. 18. Slowly and carefully lower the jack completely to the ground and place the fuel tank in a ventilated area for safety. 19. Use compressed air to clean and remove any accumulated dust and debris from the fuel tank, especially where the fuel pump is located. 20. Unlock the red lock on the fuel line connector in the same manner described earlier. 21. Once the safety lock is released, disconnect the fuel line by pulling it up with your hand. 22. Release the safety lock from the line shown on the screen. 23. Once the safety lock has been released, disconnect the line by simply pulling it up with your hand. 24. Unhook the hoses from the gas tank retaining clip by simply pulling the lines up with your hand. 25. Rotate the fuel pump retaining ring by tapping the edge in a counterclockwise direction with a brass punch and a hammer. Once released, remove the ring completely by hand. 26. Remove the damaged pump by simply pulling it up with your hands. 27. Once the damaged fuel pump is removed, remove the old seal by pulling it up with your hand. 28. Once the seal has been removed, thoroughly clean the surface where the seal and pump sit using a clean towel. 29. Install the float rod in the new fuel pump in its correct position, using the damaged pump as a reference. Press the float rod inward with your hand, ensuring it sits correctly as shown on the screen. 30. Install the new seal and proceed to install the new fuel pump in its original position, making sure it is inserted carefully in its correct orientation. 31. Install the retaining ring in its original position, ensuring the pump seal fits properly. Tap the ring in a clockwise direction with a brass punch and a hammer, ensuring it fits correctly. 32. Slide the fuel tank under the truck. Raise the tank to mid-height with the floor jack and proceed to connect the electrical plugs and the hoses in the reverse order they were removed, ensuring they fit firmly and correctly. 33. Raise the fuel tank completely with the floor jack, ensuring everything aligns in its original position. Install the metal straps and the rest of the components in the reverse order they were removed. Tighten the bolts to the specs listed in your owner's manual. 34. Turn the key to the on position without starting the engine and wait 5 seconds. Turn the key to the off position and repeat the procedure a second time. Verify that there are no fuel leaks present. If there are no fuel leaks, proceed to start the engine. Check for fuel leaks again and turn the engine off. 35. If everything looks good, lower the truck to the ground and take it for a test drive. That's how simple it is to replace the in-tank fuel pump module on 2009 to 2014 Ford F-150 pickup trucks.